Welcome to this week's edition of the Advocate Footy Wrap. I'm Cameron Whiteley. I'm joined by Jordan Abell. How are you, Jordan?
Well, mate, the big question is where's that big friend of ours?
Yeah, big bad Bradley Cole. He's escaped the wild weather here in Tassie, and he's headed up to Queensland for a few weeks, and we're inside as well, Jordan, because the weather's terrible.
He's stitched us up. He's had 3.5 weeks in what is the start of the footy season. Our resources are stretched to their nth degree, but anyway, we'll survive.
Yes, mates, and look, the TSL season proper, I guess, starts this weekend. We had one game last week, bit of an anticlimax, but I guess our teams will both play this weekend. So, yeah, how are you feeling about the upcoming season?
Yeah, just to touch on the last week's lacklustre start, I guess the fact that Western Storm are in the Foxtel Cup, they had to move one of their games forward, which is a bit unfortunate, but we're away this week. All 10 teams are playing over 5 matches. I'm looking forward to it, and obviously there's a lot of guest players coming down this year, and a couple have signed for more than just 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, look, Chris Tarrant's playing for the Northern Bombers again this year, but he's going to play 5 matches, I believe. Jamie Charman for Glenorchy.
Jamie Charman? Wow, where's he come from?
Look, obviously mates with Aaron Cornelius from when they played at the Brisbane Lions together, so he's going to play, I think, 5 or 6 games plus finals if they make it.
And let's not forget the 2 Hawthorn Premiership players coming down next week for the big Coastal TSL grudge match, so I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, Campbell Brown and Brent Guerra, of course. So, look, it's a big thing this year. I think more than ever we've got guest players, so I think it's good for the profile of the league. And I guess Burnie's first game coming up after they were runners-up last year. They're playing North Lonnie. You'll be there, mate. What are you expecting?
Yeah. Under lights, which will probably suit Northern Bombers a little bit more because they have played a lot of more night matches than Burnie. Luke Shackleton spoke to me briefly about that, but Burnie will have a lot of new faces. They had 8 or 10 players they turned over in the pre-season. Be an interesting game. Burnie have obviously been there and done that for the last 3 years. Be interesting to see whether they can stay up with the best in the comp. And I think North Lonnie are going to make the finals this year. They're going to be a big improver. So you'd think Burnie at West Park would get the job done. I think Burnie at home.
You think Burnie on the home patch? It's going to be pretty wet out there under lights as well. Could be a bit, a bit muddy and sort of things out there. But it'd be interesting to see how that game goes. And obviously Tigers, the new team, Tigers based out of Kingborough Twin Ovals.
I don't know why they're called the Tigers. They're from Kingston or Kingborough. Why don't they call them the Kingborough Tigers? But no, they just call them the Tigers. But anyway.
Not too sure, mate, but Devonport will be heading down there. You'd have to say competitive last week. I expected them to lose by more to the Storm. Devonport, could they get a win down there? Well,
I guess Kingborough are an absolute unknown. They recruited pretty well in the off-season, but until you get out and play that first game, who knows what they're capable of. But, geez, it's a long road trip down there. We're almost 3.5, 4 hours from Devonport, so the young guys will have to back up. But they showed promise in the first half against the Western Storm. What do you think? Yeah,
I think a bit of youthful energy as well. I mean, we had, obviously, speaking to Max Brown, they had 11 players, I think, so half the team, 18 or under, which can only be a good thing for the future of the club. They've only got 1 more year in the TSL, but I think they'll be wanting to, I guess, make every post a winner this year. I think they can get the job done down there against the Tigers. It's a bit of an unknown.
It's a big call.
Go out on a limb there, and I think that Max's boys will get it done this week.
Okay, NTFL this week. It's a bit of a tipster's dream this week. All best 3 teams in the comp playing the weaker 3 sides, and you can only see all 3 games going one way.
Yeah, I think you're right. Jared Watling and Pete Templeton may have something to say about that, but look, I think you probably are right. Ulverston, Wynyard, Latrobe, they appear to be clearly the best 3 teams. Look, Ulverston, it's a strange matchup against East. East lost by 40 goals to Wynyard. Ulverston lost to Wynyard as well by 200 points. So they've really both come off heavy losses in the last few weeks. But you'd expect Ulverston to get that done.
Yeah, at home to East Devonport. Sadly, the young kids at East will probably need a few more games, maybe even seasons under their belt before they are going to be competitive. Second game up, we've got Latrobe and Penguin, which will be interesting. I spoke to Peter Templeton post-game last week after their win to the Swans, and he said, look, if we stick to our game, he reckons they can take them right up to the D, so it's good confidence. I know Jack Templeton can play the game, that's for sure. If he has a game like he did against the Swans, they'll be in the contest.
Yeah, D's were not great in the first quarter last week against Smithton, but after that they would just look like they were back to their premiership form. I mean, they have lost a lot of players, and they're only, Smithton, with all credit to them, they're probably a 3rd or 4th place team. You'd expect Latrobe to get this this one out of the way and 2 in a row, I would have thought.
Yeah, and then the final game of the week's under lights, Wynyard hosting the Saints. Not a big road trip for Saints, but geez, I reckon Wynyard almost beat any side in any competition at the moment on the coast, so they're scary.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a matter of are they beatable this year, and I guess we'll only find out, and we'll get more of an indication once they've played everyone.
The fact that what's his little name? Their best player in the grand final last year, Bow, starts with B.
Matthew Bowen.
Matthew Bowen, that's his name. He was their best player in the grand final last year, and he got dropped to the Rezzies last week. So that sort of just speaks highly of their strength at the moment.
It says something about their depth, and guys like, as you said, Bowen. Dane Poke originally went out last week, but came back in when Stretton got called into work. But I mean, Errol, how are you going to fit all the players in, mate? But that's his problem, not ours. And I guess the main thing is it under lights. So will that bring the scores down a little bit? Who knows? It might be a bit dewy out there. But either way, you'd expect Wynyard to win.
Cats
pretty comfortably
by 3 figures, I reckon.
3 figures again.
Yeah, but I don't reckon they'll lose too many by under 3 this year.
I'm with you there, mate.
Briefly, mate, AFL, we don't talk about it too often. We leave that to the experts over in Melbourne. But this week, my boys, the Mighty Cats, face the Eagles, your boys. Both 3 and zip, 2 undefeated sides, first versus third. How are you feeling? I think you still owe me a 6-pack from last year's loss, but
I think it'd be 12 after this week. So look, 3-0, but look at the opposition we've beaten. With all credit to Melbourne, St Kilda and Dogs, haven't beaten much. I think we've walked under too many ladders in the off-season because injury curse again. Killing us.
I was about to say, you got a few out, but you still got your Hulks down forward, so if Geelong can keep a wraps on them, I'm pretty confident that my boys can get it done. They don't lose too often down at Skilled.
Nah, Cats for the win, mate.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Advocate Footy Wrap, and catch you again soon.